Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, back here in ECRC, the East Coast Racing Circuit. Heading to another short track here. This one, the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway. I know it's certainly a favorite to some of these drivers out here. A lot of these guys like the short track racing. I think by now you guys know how me and Jimmy feel about the short track racing. We certainly are fine just staying up here in the broadcast booth. But these guys are set to take on the Paperclip here for 170 laps here. So nice long race for these guys. Hopefully we get to see some good green flag racing. A little bit of bumping and banging, a little bit of pushing guys out the way, and some good racing out there. But joining me as always, Jimmy Covert in the booth. Jimmy, how's it going tonight, buddy?
Oh, not too bad. I did get a chance to get out there just a little bit to set up the cameras, and of course, I do not like short tracks. A bit on the slower side. I'm down into the 21 seconds. Vice some of these guys turning laps, these hot laps of under 20 or right around 20 seconds. So definitely was not able to put down the speed that these guys are here, but it's going to be a good one here. It's under a half a mile. It's 76 degrees. The track's at 76 degrees, so it's definitely going to be an interesting one. The heat's not going to bother the tires too much, obviously, because it is a night race. But I think they're still got to conserve them tires, and there's going to be some decision making in the pits. Whether they want 2 tires, 4 tires, taking all 4 tires at once, making multiple pit stops, because you can go multiple laps down, and especially on a half a mile track, entering and leaving the pits.
And this is certainly a good track to consider the 2 tire strategy as pretty short, or not pretty short, but pretty it is short as well, but pretty flat track here at Martinsville. Not that much banking, and you see in the corners, you see right there the concrete on the bottom, that concrete patch on the bottom. That's pretty much the only place you want to be. You don't want to be up on the regular asphalt out there. That's where all the marbles will be. And pretty much just no grip up there. So you want to stay down there on the bottom. Going to be pretty single groove, and I'm saying pretty a lot here. Hopefully the racing is pretty, and they keep it clean as much as possible. But speaking of a pretty man, we will bring in Dylan McDonald here as soon as we find him. He is the sponsor of tonight's race, and for some reason I'm not seeing him. There he is. Dylan McDonald, you are the sponsor here tonight. You're going to be the in-race reporter as well. So why don't you give us a rundown of how you feel about Martinsville, why you picked this track to sponsor?
I don't really know why I sponsored it, but I've always had good success here, just not qualifying. Last season in Core, I was able to make it work on the outside, but I don't know, this race may be a bottom dominant track, especially if you get up too high out of that concrete patch, get up into the marbles out of the concrete, it could send you up towards the wall. So definitely want to get back down to the inside whenever you possibly can. Yeah,
it's definitely what we were talking about here. Is it's kind of going to be one groove track, and you may have to do a little bumping and running here to get by some people. But Titletown Sim Racing and Media, give us a little rundown of that, and what your deal is with it, and why you brought it to the table here.
It just started out as, just me broadcasting races that I was racing in, and me and a good friend of mine, Wes Fuller, that I run with here and there, came up with the idea to turn it in from my name to Titletown Racing, and I ended up getting a couple of broadcasting gigs, and then finally, was able to go to CRN after that, and now I just use that just to broadcast a couple different races that I do throughout the official weeks, and just to have fun with other guys that I race with out on the track in Discord, just shoot the stuff and just be content where I'm doing. And I gotta thank Wes for giving me the logo of the Titletown Sim Racing Media, and I think it actually turned out pretty good. And so far, all I do on there is just hang out with the guys and just do a little bit of official races with them.
So I've got to ask you, coming off the big win last week at Bristol, you guys are pretty much midway through this season now. Sitting back there in 7th in points, 41 points back, but you're finally breaking through for that first win. Does it feel like maybe you can jumpstart the season now and maybe keep it going here at the half mile of Martinsville?
Yeah, the rest of the season, I got some pretty good tracks that I'm actually looking forward to. Even Talladega, I know a lot of people don't really like Talladega, but me and like the short or the played tracks of these 87s, they're just really big of a blast. Same with a mile and a half. So I think with my win last week at Bristol, my season really starts this week, trying to make up as many points as I possibly can and keep my race car clean.
Well, starting here on the outside, I just got to ask you, what's going to be the plan? Is it just figuring out a way to get to the inside as fast as possible?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't want to be stuck on the outside for too long. If there's a hole and I know I can make it without, possibly getting rain over from behind, I'll jump down. But if the guy's behind me a little bit too close, I'm just going to keep it on the outside till I know I can make my way to the inside.
All right, we will wish you luck. Looks like the pace car is going to give you guys one more lap around the track, so I'll give you a bit of time here to give any thanks or shout-outs before we let you go.
Just you guys up in the broadcast booth, Raise Energy, ECRC admin box, Buck Kicker, Brandon Coleman for putting on this league and letting me join up right there at the last second. Got to give a big shout out to Wes Fuller and Titletown Racing and Designs.
All right, well, once again, good luck out there. See if you can go back-to-back and really get back in this championship hunt.
All right, thanks, Carl.
Thank you. All right, that was the 38 of Dylan McDonald. Starting in P6 here tonight, we got Stephen Gautier on the front row, along with Carter Casey, Curtis Critchley, and Paul Durkee making up that second row. And then Dylan McDonald joined there by Justin Lawson there in the third row. But we are getting ready for green. Barney waving the flag. We are green here at Martinsville. Nice jump by Gautier, getting right out to the lead, getting to the inside, and you see right there ready, the inside line. Certainly where you want to be. Critchley able to get by on the outside there and kind of looked like he was going to try and keep it on the outside there and maybe get around the 83 of Carter Casey, but now he's going to fall into line here. And everybody trying to file into line and file on that inside. You see the 38 back there of McDonald still stuck on that outside, trying to get something to work. With these fresh tires, he may be able to hang a little bit on that outside, but you certainly don't want to be out there too long, or it's just going to burn it up. And he's just looking for somewhere to get in, but he may end up having to fall behind Langton at this point before he can finally get in line.
Yeah, you fight for so long, you're trying to maintain that position, you do a good job. You don't want to lose too much, time, so you try to fight it out a little bit. But, in the long run, this early in the race, maybe it's just easier just to drop back one position, regroup, and, make a pass later on down the road.
So we talked about McDonald being 7th in points coming in here. He has 163 points. Ahead of him, you have in 6th place Ethan McCarter with 164. Steve Gautier in 5th place with 168. He's got 2 wins on the season. Paul Durkee is in 4th place with 179 points. Carter Casey with 2 wins himself is in 3rd place with 180. Sean Langton in 2nd with 191. And then your points leader, the 27 of Curtis Critchley with 1 win to his name. And he is up there with 204 points. So 13-point lead halfway through the season, certainly not insurmountable by any means, but exactly where Curtis Critchley wants to be, and it looks 13. Like we have our first caution of the race here, and that's going to involve the 13 of Mike Durfee.
We'll go back and we'll catch that real quick.
And just getting that a little bit loose going into, I believe that's turn 3 there. Does get it back going. The 97 just get on the inside and avoiding him. So no contact, no harm, foul, anything like that. So a good job by these guys keeping it off each other. But that will be our first caution. Now we'll see if anybody elects to come in the pits pretty early here, only 7 laps in. So be surprised to see some of these guys come in. But, this is one of those tracks where if you're going to be lining up on the outside, even if you're in 4th place, 6th place, you may see those guys come in and, basically just say screw it and come in the pits to take some fresh tires, fill up on gas because they know they're just going to get eaten up on the outside unless they get a really good restart.
Yeah, we had a couple takers there, Justin Lawson and Dylan McDonald heading towards the pits. Get some fresh tires, top off of gas. We're only 8 laps into this 170 lap race. As this one can tend to be a little tricky, even though the laps are, you know, they're really quick here. But definitely just one of those races where you gotta put a lot of laps on some tires that sometimes the car just feels like it doesn't want to turn, Carl. Brandon Coleman down into the pits as he elects to take on some fresh rubber and top off his gas tank as well.
So 15 cars strong here tonight, so a decent sized field here for Martinsville and the ECRC series. And well, I guess we could say 16 with Jimmy Covert there in the field, not getting the start. Going to just
definitely not on the list right now.
I was going to pull double duty here, and you know, I know it's one of your favorite tracks here at Martinsville, but certainly right where you want to be, in the booth and nice, safe, cozy, not having to worry about anybody giving you the bumper or that inside apron. It's pretty hairy, and it's pretty big, that sticks up there, and you catch a tire on that thing and you could loop it around pretty easily.
Yeah, I have a hard time with the patience of the short track, you know, letting the car roll, saving your tires, wanting to get on the gas, and it just, I don't know, Carl, it just doesn't fit my flavor of racing, my style of racing, so, you know, I stay away from it. I like watching them, you know, as we broadcast here, you know, for ECRC and other leagues, you know, that are out there. Just definitely just not my cup of tea. So I'll just watch, and maybe one day I can learn and pick something up. But as of for right now, I'm happy where I'm at.
That's how a lot of people feel about dirt. You know, dirt can be the same way. Some people just absolutely really enjoy dirt racing, and others just, you know, don't. You know, they get the concept, but they don't, you know, understand everything that you have to do and the little nuances that are different from dirt compared to asphalt. So it's kind of the same deal like that, and that's really how the difference between short track racing and speedway racing, and really the same thing between speedway and your super speedway racing. And there's a lot of people that like super speedway racing, and there's some that just don't, you know, just the variety of it. But we are getting ready to go back green here. Steve Gautier still on the point. He is your control car as they come out of turn 4. He's on the loud pedal. We're back racing here at Martinsville. Side by side is Critchley going to take advantage and get to the inside of Casey, and so is the 7 of Sean Langton. He's going to get to the inside as well and try and battle and take over that third position, and he will get it done going into turn 3. Gets close to the 27, almost a little bumping and banging here early, but it is Gautier out front, followed by Critchley, Langton, Casey, and Durkee making up your top 5. Al Reed, Eurykio, Kiger, Fulton, and McMillan rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, nice small field here. So, I mean, at least they're not overwhelmed with a ton of cars here tonight. So it should be, you know, continuous, just good racing by these guys, as they've showed us in the past, that they can go green from start to finish. One small hiccup on a short track, a single car spin, you know, it wasn't even a bad one. So just giving these guys kind of regroup and let their cut tires maybe cool down just a little bit and get right back on out there.
Oh, and we got another one here.
Sean Langton.
As it looks like involves Sean Langton and Curtis Critchley here. As we slow it down for you here, trying to take a look and see if there was contact. It looks like midway through the corner, the 7 gets into the back of the 27, sends the 27 around, and then Casey nowhere to go. He ends up hooking the 7, and pretty decent contact into the outside wall there for the 7. See the 27 just kind of rolling backwards, hoping that nobody touches him. And I guess, you know, does a pretty good job of it, all things considered. The 21 back there, the Sitco machine, going to get down to the inside as well. So all in all, the 7 taking the brunt of the damage there and doing the brunt of the damage as well. But we are back under caution here at Martinsville on lap 16. Seeing a couple more takers now for pit road.
Yeah, so now we're up to 17 laps. As they, even with 2 cautions, you know, their laps are going to continue to go by fairly quickly. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have six guys in. Get their cars either repaired or some fresh tires, especially on a spin like that. You get them tires heated up, they're sticky. and then you just have no grip, and then you're just going to be slow from the get-go and in the back, especially after spinning. So if you're in the back already, no harm in getting some fresh rubber and get back out there and give it another try and stay on the lead lap. As it looks like some of the leaders are coming around the front stretch right now.
Yeah, no surprise. Some of the guys up front not wanting to pit. It's a track where track position is key, but again, you know, those guys are going to be starting the outside. That's where it's a little sketchy. You've seen Carter Casey starting the outside on that last restart and got shuffled from second all the way back to fourth in a matter of pretty much a lap. So we'll see how it works out now, as he's going to be starting on the outside once again, as he's going to start second behind Steve Gautier. Alongside of him, Al Reed and Nick Uricchio going to be making up row 2 at this point. But as we say every week, you know, give us a little shout out there in the chat. Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know who you want to see out there. Any kind of shout outs, any kind of questions you want to ask the driver, anything like that. We are all ears, and you know, we aim to please. But we appreciate everybody out there watching right now. Appreciate everybody that's going to watch here in the future once this race is done and dusted. But thanks once again to Titletown Sim Racing and Media for their sponsorship of the race here tonight, and as well as Butt Kicker and Admin Box for the series sponsor as well. But again, this is short track racing. You know, we talked about it at Bristol last week, and you know, same thing with the week before at North Wilkesboro. It can get pretty hairy pretty quickly because you bunch even 15 cars up here on a short little track. These things are like tanks, but they will spin out pretty easily, and they have enough power to the back wheels to kind of get them loose as well.
Yeah, they have plenty of power to send the car around, that's for sure. And see back here in 9th and 10th, Justin Lawson and Paul Durkee in the Goat Patch machines as they alternate their paint schemes here. That looks cool. I know them two, and Critchley and who is the other one? The 2 car, I believe it is, but I don't see him here tonight. It looks like Critchley's teammate is not here tonight.
Yeah, he's not. We are back green and racing here at Martinsville, and a hook in the front of the pack. And don't say it too often, but that was the big one at Martinsville. We'll have to take a look back and see if that was a missed shift or what happened, but big pileup on the front stretch. And we'll see the restart here again.
Right, I catch.
Look like a...
Ooh, it might have been. I think Brandon Coleman.
I know the 3 was involved, and yeah, it looks like, we'll take a look again. It looked like the 83 might have missed a shift. We'll have to rewind it and take a look one more time. Looks like the 83 might have missed a shift on the outside, and pretty much left Uricchio right behind him, nowhere to go. And we'll watch it again one more time right here as they come off of turn 4. Everybody bunched up. The 360 gets on the loud pedal. And you see right there, just looks like the 83 either misses a shift or maybe hits the brake instead of the clutch. Either way, it bunches up the field right there pretty badly.
Yeah, some of those guys coming from the back, you see Durfee getting into the 21. Sean Langton checking up and staying out of that mess because he was just in a wreck himself. It's not not a easy task here. Is parking lot front stretch before turn 1. So Al Reed definitely got to go in there. Everybody starts to kind of figure it out and get these cars going again. As the 6th car does a 360 there, get that car going back in the right direction.
All right, Jimmy, you got to go back live here and take a look at this and see what's going on here. Looks like we got some guys that need to get waiver rounds, so not sure exactly what's going on.
looks like the 13. What's we got up here?
And of course, it looks like my screen must have froze on me.
Yeah, there's a few cars in front of the 360. I'm not quite sure what's going on, as big clusters like that will definitely cause confusion for iRacing at times. It looks like the 21 just got turned around there, Mike Millen. And the pace car is in. And we're gonna go green temporarily. 360 of Gauthier goes by. The 97's up in the wall. They call a caution to, I believe, get everything kind of figured out here. Got Coleman crashing there at the end there. This car does not want to stick. Goes around, hits the wall. So the caution was already out, coming out. As he continues to get that going here, as our admin guys will figure this out and put everybody back in order. Stuff happens, especially here with short track racing, but we are currently in lap 28 of 170, so maybe not the start they want to hear tonight, but up front is Steve Gauthier with Chuck Kiger in second and Dylan McDonald in third. Nicholas Uricchio in fourth, Derek Fulton in fifth, Curtis Critchley in sixth, Sean Langton in seventh, Justin Lawson in eighth, Paul Durkee in ninth, Al Reed in 10th, Mike Durfee in 11th, Shane Calhoun in 12th, Mike McMillan in 13th, and Brandon Coleman in 14th. And it looks like Carter Casey has parked it, which will round out your 15 drivers for tonight. We'll go ahead and we'll look, see where everybody has actually started and see how many positions are up, as Chuck is up 8 positions from the start along with Derek Fulton. So these guys definitely on the move, and Derek Fulton got a couple more spots, but great start for these two as we are lap 30 of 170 here at Martinsville. You get out here and you want to go fast, and on a short track there's a lot of patience involved, and making sure you get your car to turn and not get in the gas too much and get loose, as we've seen a few of the cars do so far here tonight. So just the drivers just to settle down just a little bit, kind of clean up maybe some of their mistakes, and we'll get this thing going green and knock this thing out tonight as we continue to give you coverage here at Martinsville. These guys will be going green here as they extend the caution laps here, as people continue to get positioned to start this race again here shortly. Oh, it looks like these guys are gonna park it or slow it down here on the front stretch. as they continue to let some of these guys go by, and they will sort out the field. And looks like they're gonna let Carter Casey get his laps back as he exits here. And we'll go to Carter Casey. And he is 6 laps down currently. Racing does this sometimes where it just has like a glitch, or it doesn't start the pace car where it wants to sometimes, as we've seen. I think it was here last week as they started their the pit car. The pit car was still on the racetrack in the middle of turn 4 as they called the green flag. So Carter Casey back out on the track and got his car all fixed. Unfortunately had to take a fast repair, but he is out back on the track, out and going, as these guys here will sit on the front stretch and let Carter go around and get back up to the lead lap and resume before they go resume this race. And that there, folks, is just good sportsmanship on the league itself, you know, to stop the race temporarily for just a couple laps and let one of their fellow drivers catch back up. And you know, after you get some of these mistakes that happen. So Carter Casey will get a few waiver rounds here, get back up on the lead lap, as he is now 3 laps down. So these won't take very long here, but maybe a minute, and he'll be back on the lead lap before they start to before they go green here. Carter definitely getting the blue light special from his teammates and his league mates to get back up on the lead lap here to give him a fair chance, because iRacing just
Still in it.
has some mistakes. What was that, Carl? Well, Carl's continuously he's over there helping out with the admin side of the house, as well as making sure these guys got a fair race. If you're just tuning in here to CRN, just had a little caution and a pretty big wreck there on the front stretch. As a lot of people kind of got wrapped up into it. Right now, the field is stopped in the front stretch, allowing the field to get straightened out. Carter Casey getting back on the lead lap here. These guys, you know, practicing some patience here with the iRacing itself. But if you get a chance, toss us a thumbs up and a like and subscribe if you haven't already, as we continue to give you coverage here at ECRC at Martinsville. And Carter Casey back up with his with the rest of the pack on the lead lap, as these guys should start rolling green here, rolling soon. And looks like they're starting to roll off now, as Steve Gauthier is getting the field back on track. So small timeout break for these guys. So as it starts right now, it'll be Steve Gauthier, Chuck Kiger, Dylan McDonald, Nicholas Uricchio in the Dunkaroos call, Derek Fulton, Curtis Critchley in 6th, Sean Langton in 7th in the 7th car, Justin Lawson and his teammate Paul Durkee in 8th and 9th. Mike Durfee is in 10th. Al Reed in 11th. Brandon Coleman in the Bobcat machine back in 12th place. Shane Calhoun in 13th. Mike McMillan in the 21 car. Back in 14th, Carter Casey back on the lead lap in the 83 in that Wrigley Kmart car. We're doubled up here. Looks like the pace car was in and coming back out, so I believe everybody should be back in the lead lap, so we should be going green here soon. And as you look at some of these cars back here, you can see the rear ends are kind of bent in a little bit. These cars the brakes don't work real great on these things. So you have a tendency to get into the car in front of you a lot as you're trying to make your best speed possible, best time around here, and just happens. And these guys only have, a couple fast repairs, so I want to take fast repairs on something that's not really affecting the car too much, as aerodynamics is not one of the biggest factors here at Martinsville. The pace car is in. Steve Gauthier will lead him down the start-finish line with Chuck Kiger on the outside. Green, green, greens. Steve gets a good jump. Dylan not quite as fast. Oh, but gets into Chuck Kiger as Chuck Kiger goes around back through the field. Another caution will be called out. These guys just getting a little bit too excited, a little too aggressive early on as they battle for these early positions here, trying not to let the leader get too far away. And this looks kind of like a little bit of a racing incident as Chuck Kiger and Dylan McDonald get together. Dylan coming down the grass. Chuck just trying to stay low, but Fulton gets into him. Lawson checking up. A little bit of net code there between Lawson and Fulton. Everybody else checks up and is able to get around. Looks like the 6 car might have tapped the 22 as well as they wait for the rest of the field to go by as the caution comes out on a lap. Oh, what lap was that? Lap 38, 39. So a few cautions here early here at Martinsville. Another reason I don't care for short track races, because the cautions just seem to fly and fly. But cautions breed cautions. We know these guys are clean drivers, and mistakes happen because most of us do this just for a hobby. We are not professional racers, but we do have a lot of fun out here, whether it's in the car or in the booth. But these guys here, again, putting on a good show. I'm sure here shortly they will figure out what needs to be done and get the rest of these laps green, as we are on lap 40 of 170. As you see some people coming down the pits up on the tower there on the left-hand side of the screen, as Mike Durfee and Shane Calhoun have come in for fresh tires, probably top off for fuel as we are 40 laps in. But Steve Gauthier, Dylan McDonald, Nicholas Uricchio, Curtis Critchley, Justin Lawson, top 5. Sean Langton, Paul Durkee, Brandon Coleman, Mike McMillan, Carter Casey for 5th through 10th. And then Chuck Kiger, Al Reed, Mike Durfee, Shane Calhoun, and Derek Fulton for the rest of the field. And you've seen how fast, one little spin can send you from the front to the back. So plenty of time to get back out there, showing Derek Fulton 1 lap down, but with him being the only car in the lead lap and with all these accidents, lucky dog, as long as he stays out of trouble, is in sight.
Alrighty, I think we are finally back and somewhat underway here. A bit of a, well, not even a bit, a lot of a mix-up here between iRacing just completely booting me, giving some guys black flags, kicking some people. We got them all back in here, luckily. And back underway. We're here at lap 42 now. Everybody on the lead lap except for Derek Fulton. Looks like it's he's the only one down a lap right now, but it is still Steve Gauthier on the pole here. He is the control car, and Dylan McDonald on the outside. with Eurykio and Critchley in row 2, getting ready to restart this race here.
Gautier getting an awesome jump.
Back
Taking that
under.
lead.
Good restart by these guys. A little bit of a battle here for third as Eurykio gets to the inside of Critchley, or should I say stays to the inside of Critchley. They are 2 by 2 here for third and for fifth as Langton battling the 20 of Lawson as well. So Critchley just going to get it done, but Eurykio popping his head back in there. Now the 27 will get it done and move into third, still side by side there for fifth place between the 7 and the 20, and Coleman right behind him in that 0. Looking for which way is going to go, which one's not, and then they will finally decide it with the 7 of Langton getting in there, but the 20 of Lawson not done yet. Tries a bit of a crossover there, but not going to be had right now. The GOAT patch, number 20, is going to have to fall back in line in 6th place, as everybody looks like they've finally filed back in line now, single file.
Yeah, once these guys get going and figure out, you know, how these cars are handling here tonight, you know, there's going to be some green flag racing, that's for sure. As we're watching Brandon Coleman here in 7th place, putting on a good show, trying to follow Justin Lawson around in that 20 car. You know, and just in front of them is Sean Langton. He's been up front in many of the races that we've had here, and the only reason that he might have fell back is just some bad luck. So that 7 car, the Xerox moving to the front as he's on the underside of Nicholas Eurykio.
Yeah, these guys starting to do a good job here. Langton getting the better of Eurykio. Now Eurykio stuck on that outside and almost, yeah, it is 3 wide. Going down the backstretch here. Who is going to back out? Who's going to send it? Looks like right through the middle, the meat and the sandwich there. Coleman going to get it done. Eurykio keeps getting shuffled back. It is not easy sledding there on the outside. And, you know, he's still in that concrete patch down there, but there's still just not as much grip as it is on the very bottom of the track. That's where everybody's running. That's where the rubber's being put down, and he's getting shuffled from third all the way back towards the back of the pack right now. And he will finally file in behind the 94. That is Fulton a lap down in 15th, so he's trying to make it through the field and get his lap back the hard way, but he is a lucky dog right now if there were to be another caution to come out.
Yeah, Fulton sitting in a really good position to get that position back to get on the lead lap, as we're only 51 laps into 170, so plenty of racing left here at Martinsville. Short track racing at its best with a few cautions, high racing mix up, you know, whether it's kicking the broadcaster off the service, or just starting in the, you know, the pace car, maybe starting in the middle of a corner.
As these guys said, you know, a little bit of rain delay mid-race there, so we had to make sure all the thunder and the lightning were out of the area before we got back going, and it was safe for everybody to return. So it is good now. It is gone as of right now. There's nothing on the radar for any more storms here tonight, other than the other storms that these guys may put on the track here. And lay down some thunder here at some point, I'm sure. But right now it is a Gautier out front to almost about a second lead over second place McDonald. Gautier looking to be the first driver this year to grab a third win and try and march his way back up into the standings. He had the points lead after the first 2 races, going back-to-back wins to start off the season. And then, you know, a decent finish in the 3rd race, but then the vacation has set him back here a little bit, and he's had to crawl back in it, but certainly not out of it there. Pretty close points race for the top 7, let alone the top 10. Critchley right now, your points leader, is in 3rd, and it's going to be hard to catch him if he's going to keep having these good finishes. Right now running in a great position. Sean Langton has been running good as well. He's there in 4th place right behind him. Justin Lawson trying to get back into this battle here as the number 20 just waiting back here watching these guys.
These guys definitely have the rhythm going right now, and able to start ticking some of these laps off as we're closing. You know, we're over 56 laps in now, and hopefully we'll see some green flag pit stops here, as, you know, I believe they did not have enough fuel to make it to the end. So that and these tires don't last that long here with these 87 cars. There's a lot of scrubbing goes on going around these corners.
And it's a lot of times it's not so much going through the corners. A lot of tracks you're going to lose a lot of your tires going through like the middle of the corner, but here it's a lot going into the corner, really chewing up that right front, trying to, you know, kind of slam on those brakes, get it down onto the bottom of that track, and really turning hard to get down in there. And then same thing as you're leaving the corner, trying to get up off that corner with as much power as possible. You're really gonna wear that right front, as it's just searching for grip, and if you're on the throttle a little bit too hard, you may be wearing that right rear out as well. So rights are going to be on full display here tonight, and we'll see if these guys do get a long enough green flag run that they make these green flag stops, and see if anybody gambles with 2 tires.
Yeah, Brandon Coleman stuck on the outside. Back here as Nicholas Uricchio gets by him in that 36 car, as he will have to march his way back up to the front, as it looks like the 87 is just a little bit slow. Or is that the 97? Yeah, it is the 97. It's Shane Calhoun, just a little bit slower than everybody here tonight, but goes to the high side, lets the guys go by, as he is now 1 lap down.
And you love to see things like that. You know, it's great that these guys are out here, you know, testing out either, you know, cars they're maybe not used to, or testing out cars they really like and want to get into. But having the knowledge and knowing that, you know, you may be off pace compared to everybody else, and you know, having the respect for everybody else to kind of move out of the way and let them by is really nice to see. And you know, it's too often that guys get into a race where they feel overmatched and they try and overdrive the car to keep somebody behind them that is a little bit faster, or, you know, maybe they quit the race a little bit early because they feel like they're in the way constantly, and neither of those things are good. You know, if you're racing people too hard, they're going to get angry with you and not want to race against you anymore at all. But, you know, the same goes for the guys quitting early. If you're quitting early, you're not logging the laps, you're not going to get any better. So it's good to see, you know, guys like Calhoun in here right now, you know, kind of just logging the laps and putting the time in and getting better. The only way you're going to get better is more and more and more and more laps. I mean, it's the best way to get better is practice, but also practice in a race session.
Dylan
But the
McDonald.
number 2 car in line, Dylan McDonald, just absolutely losing the car going into turn 1 there. You see right there, goes to enter the corner, the back end already stepping out. You already see him counter steering, working that wheel left and right, and dirt tracking that thing through turns 1 and 2. Does keep it off of the wall and off of everybody else, so a good job there. But second place car right there, doing pretty well, Dylan McDonald, and you see it, the track just bites him as well.
Yeah, there's another incident during that time. There's Al Reed was checking up as well here. As he was on the outside. Ooh. See, what we didn't show and why I went to Al Reed there was, unfortunately, T-boned Dylan McDonald as he was fighting on the outside of Uricchio, trying to get around him, and got on the side of Dylan McDonald. So those guys are going to have to come in, as it looks like Dylan has some front left damage on his car, and maybe a little bit more added damage to Al Reed there, as they got in that incident as the caution came out. But it looks like
the front left of Dylan McDonald is certainly caved in there. He's certainly going to need a fast repair for that one.
Yeah, so looks like a lot of guys coming in. Brandon Coleman's electing to stay out. Mike Durfee is in. Barrett Fulton's in. Al Reed's already in and out. Dylan McDonald's already in and out. Nicholas Uricchio in and out. Chuck Kiger in and out. So right now it looks like Brandon Coleman, Curtis Critchley, Steve Gauthier, Sean Langton, Justin Lawson, and Paul Durkee up front.
So it could be interesting now with some of these guys getting switched up here a little bit. I think it worked out nicely with the 360 being able to be on the inside here, restarting in third place. It's certainly going to help him out. But we will see how things work out and see if that 0 of Coleman will get a good enough jump and be able to hold off Critchley, because Critchley has had the speed to hold off guys on the inside and even make that pass on the top side work, but you got to get it done on the early laps for sure. So we should see the pace car lights out this time by, and we indeed do. So it will be Coleman restarting on the front row with Critchley, Gautier, and Langton on the second row. Lawson, Durkee making up the third row.
Barney's getting his workout tonight, waving the flag. Brandon Coleman up on point with leads laps led. Pace cars out as we can go green here on lap 69. Brandon Coleman will bring them down to start. Brandon Coleman on the loud pedal, getting it done to the inside. Critchley getting a good start. They go down into turn 1 there.
Great start by all these guys here, still side by side for the first 3 rows here. Eurykio trying to get it down the outside. Langton trying to get it done on the outside of Gautier as well. These guys are still side by side. The Goat Patch teammates also side by side back there, battling for 5th and 6th. And I got to check the speeds to make sure that these guys aren't still pacing and they realize they can start racing now. Certainly happening. It is starting to get racy here. Still not even halfway done here at Martinsville, but side by side for first, side by side for third, side by side for 5th. And then right there is Carter Casey getting back in the mix. He's in 7th. And he's got to just be looking up here and just wondering, all right, what is going to happen? Where do I got to go? Because it's certainly racy up here. Looks like Coleman, every time it looks like he has him cleared, the 27 fights back, gets that run on the outside. Now the 0 puts the hammer down, and not going to matter, as it looks like the 38 is involved in a wreck, and we'll see what else happened here.
Looks like the 3 comes in here.
Yeah, that one is going to be on the 3, just sliding up, trying to get in a little bit too hard into the corner, and he gets it into the 38. We'll see if there's any more damage. I mean, it looked like it was just slight contact there, so nothing too bad. The 36 of Eurykio gets it slowed up in time, so no extra contact right there, so that was good. So just a little bit of a spin right there. Get the tempers going just a little bit more, but everything pretty cautious there on that wreck. So pretty good job by these guys.
Yeah, exercise and patience, and trying to keep that temper down, as everybody's here is competitive and wants to win and do the best they can, put on a show for their family and friends out here. And it definitely, I'm gonna say it again, but it definitely gets frustrating. And I've been there, done that, so I can feel what these guys are going through, and you get frustrated and get kind of just bumped, or a little bit of neck code, or somebody's just not as patient as you want them to be behind you, and you go around. So, but anyways, we are on lap 75. We got Brandon Coleman out front doing a great job, up 11 spots from where he started here tonight, as Curtis Critchley continues to try to get around him, with Steve Gautier in 3rd, Sean Langton in 4th, Justin Lawson in 5th, Paul Durkee in 6th, Carter Casey in 7th, Mike McMillan up to 8th. 9th is Mike Durfee, Nicholas Eurykio in 10th, Dylan McDonald back to 11th, Shane Calhoun in 12th, Al Reed in 13th, Derek Fulton back on a lead lap, gonna work his way back up there, as he had got wrapped up in an incident earlier, but he is now back on a lead lap. We have Chuck Kiger 2 laps down, but with all the cautions that have come out tonight, he still has a chance to get back on a lead lap. as I'm sure he's wanting some cautions to happen in his favor, and as he can contend for the win tonight.
Yeah, don't fret, Stephanie. I don't think his chances are done yet, and he can certainly get back on there. I've seen a few guys go a lap down and be able to get their laps back, so certainly not out of the mix yet. Still not even halfway through this race, so we'll see what happens here as these guys are going to come through now and take the one to green and get bunched back up here once again.
Yeah, a shout out there from to Chuck from Stephanie. And Sniper out there, that just happens to be my kid, giving a shout out here to us up here in the booth. So he's out there watching us as well. So these guys are here doing a good job, putting on a great show. Cautions happen. It's short track racing, baby.
And it is, and we're going to get to see some more here in a second. A couple of guys still working to get back caught up to the field here, but we're going to get ready to go. Brandon Coleman is the control car once again, him and Curtis Critchley on that front row. Coleman on the loud pedal, and he will get that Bobcat trying to run as fast as possible down into the corner. Critchley gets a good entry into turn one, trying to get it rotated on the outside. The Zero is going to have a slight edge coming off the corner, but that outside run is going to keep Critchley in the mix as they are still side by side by side. Now it looks like the Goat Patch teammates finally work it out, finally get to talking to each other, and it is going to be Lawson that is going to take over the spot, and he's going to be on the inside now of Langton, trying to get in there for fourth position as he has the position, and the position up front is all Coleman now. Finally clears Critchley. Gautier trying to get by on the inside as well, and just a situation right there where Critchley has good speed, but the middle / outside line is just not where you want to be. Really, really tough to hold on, let alone pass people out there. Still doing a good job, and he's working his way back up to the point where he is at the point right now. He has made his way to the lead. A little bit of a bobble, a little bit of a hit on the apron from the Zero, and now that outside line is apparently where you want to be. Coleman's going to try and fight back down on the inside. He's going to get back to the inside of the 27, but that 27 of Critchley going to get a great exit out of the corner. He's going to clear. And still a battle, though, as Coleman dives back to the inside. Lawson thought he just, had a golden opportunity there. Got to the outside of Gautier. Got behind Critchley, seeing Critchley starting to pull ahead, and thought maybe he could drive right by and get the second. Now he's going to be afraid of getting stuck on the outside as Coleman gets back going pretty well again. And he is going to retake the lead, at least temporarily here on that inside. And now he will clear. Will he move up? It looks like still not enough room to move up. Critchley's still fighting on the outside.
Yeah, Brandon Coleman has not taken tires since lap 27. So he's on older tires. He's using that bottom line to his advantage, keeping Gautier behind him, allowing Curtis Critchley to get to his outside, to try to work his way around. But he's holding up Gautier, and Critchley just maintaining his line at the bottom, Carl. I do not see him going up to the top, as his tires are definitely a lot older than some of these guys out here, but he took the position in his advantage and is doing a good job hanging with these guys for now.
Yeah, the good news is we are no longer too wide at 3 rows deep. The bad news is that's because we're 5 or even 6 rows deep of too wide racing right now. And a little bit of a bump there from the 83, the 7 gets moved there a little bit. We'll take a look back. It was certainly between the 83 and the 7. Not sure who made the move first, but we will see what's going to bring out the caution here right at the midway point.
Oof.
And looks like a bit of a late move down to the bottom by the 7, and the 83 having nowhere to go. We'll take a look at it one more time.
If I can show it here. Yeah, that's the 83. Just I'll rewind it here just a little bit more so we can get a clear shot on what happened here. We'll go back just a little bit before the incident so we can get the whole thing, get the overall picture here. Is the 83, the 7 comes down, just 7 checks up. 83 getting the back of the 7. Doesn't look really like anything like the 83 really did anything. Just the 7 checking up, not getting into the car in front there. Brandon Coleman choosing to come down and get some fresh tires. Now he'll be the car out with the new tires, and you know, we're at the halfway mark now. We're you know, so these guys are able to come down, and we still have people coming down to get new tires as Justin Lawson, Paul Durkee, the Goat Boys, are coming in to get new tires and maybe fuel. They might even have enough fuel to get to the end, especially with some of these cautions that they're putting out. So it's going to be interesting how people decide to use these cautions and when to get tires, if they want tires, to get back out here for track position, as it seems to be a very important role here tonight, as the bottom line is the dominant line, as some of these guys might be coming in for what might be their last pit stop. But right now we have Steve Gauthier up front with Carter Casey all the way back up to second place after being one lap down. And this is not the first time we've seen Carter Casey come from the back, laps down, and be back up front. Dylan McDonald sitting in third. Derek Fulton finds himself back on the lead lap, also back up front in fourth place. Al Reed doing a great job in fifth. Nicholas Uricchio back up in sixth. Sean Langton finds him back in his favorite number of 7. In seventh, in the 7th car. So then we have Brandon Coleman taking that pit stop and back up to 8th. Mike McMillan in 9th. Curtis Critchley in 10th. Mike Durfee in 11th. Shane Calhoun in 12th. Paul Durkee in 13th. Justin Lawson in 14th. And Chuck Kiger only one lap down. So after being 2 laps down, is now only 1 lap down. Looking to get back on that lead lap to contend for, you know, maybe a top 10 or top 5 here tonight still. And it looks like the pace car will be coming in here this lap as Steve Gauthier is getting ready to bring these guys to the green flag. Here at ECRC at Martinsville with Admin Box, Butt Kicker, Titletown Sim Racing and Media. Looks like they're going to go ahead and extend the caution lap and let everybody get everything kind of figured out again, as iRacing tends to make some mistakes. It seems to be expanded a little more than less often on these short tracks. There's just not enough time for people to get in their position, as sometimes, you know, when iRacing calls, you need to be in a certain spot before the start, and extending the caution allows the drivers to be ready and go back green, as you can tell how tight the racing is here tonight at Martinsville. The pace car is in, as Steve will take him down to start, as he checks him up just a little bit. And Steve gets a great start with Dylan McDonald right behind, as Carter Casey on the outside will now have to work that outside line and try to make it work, as he's in 3rd place. As Al Reed up in 4th position underneath Fulton, as Fulton goes to the outside of Reed to try to get that 4th position, but Nick Uricchio is also back there fighting for position, as he is in the 6th position, looking to go to the inside of Derek Fulton for 5th. As he makes that work right there, Nicholas Uricchio gets by for 5th position. Now looks on the bumper of Al Reed for 4th. Back in the field here, you see Curtis Critchley following Fulton around, but you know, our Brandon Coleman on them fresh tires back here in 8th place, trying to keep up with everybody, as it looks like the 6 of Paul Durkee will get by Brandon Coleman nice and clean there, and Justin Lawson in the 20th will look to do the same. Steve Gauthier is out to a 1-second lead, is Carter Casey not too far behind, as Dylan McDonald was able to get around Carter Casey, as these guys, you know, they battled twice tonight. They battle not only here on Wednesday nights with ECRC, but they also battle each other over at the Core Racing League in the Vintage Series, as Core puts on a 87 league of their own, and these guys find themselves racing around each other a lot. Al Reed back here in 4th position, watching the 83 of Carter Casey trying to get around Dylan McDonald, saving some tires and trying to get a good finish here tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you have a race like this, it's tickled a little bit with some long flag runs, but we had certainly a few cautions as well. So you're not really sure what to do, because if you think it's going to be a race where you're getting a lot of cautions, you need to kind of get through that field and make your moves as soon as possible, and that's going to burn up your tires. If you think it's going to be something that goes on a long green flag run, you kind of need to do the opposite. You need to try and save those tires as much as possible, and then when the guys in front of you burn them off, that's when you make your moves kind of later in the run. So it's one of those in-between races right now, and we are just getting back in here now at lap 99. This time by, these guys will cross and will be starting at lap 100. So got 71 laps to go here at Martinsville. Certainly a lot can happen.
Yes, a lot can happen, you know, and these guys are doing a really good job. We know we've seen some cautions here tonight, but that just happens here. It's the nature of the beast with these small tracks. Chuck Kiger trying to get some position spot or back here, but trying to ride around safely, I think, is his main goal here, as he's one lap down. But him and Sean Langton have to battle this out, because whoever is in this position here gets that lucky dog if that caution comes out. But Sean Langton gets by Chuck Kiger as they work on lap 101 here.
Fortunately, 7 going a lap down for causing a second yellow on that last yellow right there. So having to fight back now, but back out in the lead, and certainly right where he wants to be is that 360 machine of Steve Gautier. Carter Casey trying to follow. Looks like Nick Uricchio getting a little sideways. Good save there through turns 1 and 2. He does get it righted and gets back going. Those tires are certainly going to be angry for a couple of laps, so he's going to have to find his way back to the bottom and kind of cool him down a little bit, and maybe cool his blood pressure down a little bit there as well.
Yeah, Brandon Coleman just tagged the wall there just a little bit coming off the corner. Yeah, it takes a few laps for the tires to cool back down, and when these tires get hot, they get greasy and they push, and this car is hard enough to get around these corners as it is, being on the short track, a lot of pressure. But when their tires are hot and greasy, you just slide that outside wall, and it makes it that much harder to get around there smoothly and quickly, and you lose a lot of time. So gonna take a few laps, but it looks like Nicholas Uricchio is doing a great job and has got that car back under control, as Brandon Coleman chases him down, currently in 9th position, as it looks like the 7 car of Sean Langton just doing a great job getting back, working his way back up to the front, trying to get his lap back the hard way.
He's got to have that mindset, because the 360 of Gautier is coming up on another lap car, the 97 of Shane Calhoun. As soon as that 97 goes down a lap, he would end up being the lucky dog, and Langton would have to try and race him back down as well and try and make that pass to get back in the lucky dog position. So always kind of a sense of urgency when you're down a lap here, especially if it's some long green flag runs, and you see right there the 360, your leader, getting by the lap car of the 97. Calhoun doing a good job once again. We called him out earlier. We gave him a little shout out, and deserves it again. Knows that he's not racing for a position right now. He doesn't want to slow up the leaders. Just moving out of the way, doing a gentlemanly thing right there.
Yeah, you learn a lot by racing around guys that are a lot faster than you. You can pick up on some of their lines, but if your car is just not handling that good, on the older tires, just get behind somebody and ride. Just try to see their lines, see what they're doing, and when other people come up behind you, just let them go. Let them guys battle it out. Fight to live another day, and consistency can win, get you some good points. But in this case, he's just not having. Maybe he's just that non-short track driver like me. So I'm with you, Shane. I hate short tracks, man.
A man after your own heart right there for sure. But right now, it is Gautier out front. Casey, Critchley, Reed, and Fulton making up your top 5, with McDonald, Durkee, Uricchio, Coleman, and Lawson making up your top 10. Looks like the 13 is stopped. Not sure what is going on there on the back stretch.
See what kind of happened here.
It looks like he just loses it out of the corner. And kind of in a spot where it's just really tough to get back going. Surprised that the caution did not come out right there. And again, another gentlemanly thing to do there, just towing it back to pit road. Really shocked that the iRace didn't throw a caution there, but he was down out of the racing line, so we will stay green.
Yeah, he quickly was unable to get that car to back going in the right direction. The sportsman-like thing to do, and just tow it and bring it back out, keep practicing, and better shot maybe next week.
So yeah, car you got to keep an eye on is right there, that 94 of Derek Fulton. He was at one point a lap down and just kind of hanging back there waiting to get back. He is on the lead lap now and doing a pretty good job working his way up through the field here. And now trying to work on Al Reed. He is in the top 5, looking for 4th place right now on Al Reed. So a good job battling back here for Derek Fulton.
Yeah, he was back there a lap down. Another person also that has fought his way back is Carter Casey, as he was a lap down earlier, and finding himself currently in 2nd position, as we've seen him in this position of many races so far this season, working his way from the back to the front. So doing a great job so far, but does he have enough for Steve?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think for Casey, he's probably seen that a little too much to his liking. It seems like almost race in and race out now. He finds himself at some point or another a lap down and having to fight his way back. Does a great job and seems to do it almost every race, but it's not the position you want to be in every race you get out here. But either way, he's in 2nd. He's in a good position right now. Taking a look back here at 6th place, Paul Durkee trying to hold off the likes of Dylan McDonald, Nick Uricchio, and Brandon Coleman, as those guys are trying to hunt him down from behind. The 13 of Mike Durfee back out there on the track after taking that tow and getting some fresh rubber, getting back out there. So we are 11 guys on the lead lap right now, with Langton, Kiger, and Calhoun all 1 lap down in 12th, 13th, and 14th. Durfee in 15th, 4 laps down.
And Sean doing a good job of, staying in that lucky dog position, as he has to work his way up the hard way for some earlier, incidents of his own, but getting it done and basically staying on that lucky dog spot. So if something were to happen, he still has a chance here tonight. It looks like Justin Lawson just made a move on Brandon Coleman for the 9th position.
And they're running 9th and 10th respectively. But it is getting to be a bigger and bigger lead out front, as Gautier now out to a 3.5-second lead over the likes of Carter Casey and Curtis Critchley. You see those guys doing battle right now. Certainly close. And now Casey goes to the outside. I don't know if he missed the corner or if he was giving up the position, but either way, that was certainly not the line through the corner. Easily goes by, does the 27 of Critchley, now in his 2nd place. We'll see if he has anything to try and run down Gautier, who has now moved out to almost a 4-second lead. And at Martinsville, that is massive.
Yeah, you see by the track map, it's about 3/4 of a backstretch, almost full 2 corners, around this track, as 4 seconds is a humongous amount of time here, and very hard to make up, so you got to make up 4 seconds and try to get by him, as the bottom groove here seems to be dominant still here tonight.
And you see Critchley is a little bit faster. You're already starting to gain some of that time right back, but still a long way to go, long road to hoe. And yeah, I mean, you take a look at that track map, and it's a half mile just like last week at Bristol, but you see just completely different, and you see also why they call it the paperclip. It is just, some decent sized straightaways and then really tight turns. You look last week at Bristol, and Bristol's almost essentially cut up into fourth. So you essentially have, an eighth of a mile straightaways, an eighth of a mile corners, and that's how you make up your half mile. But here it's a little bit different. It's a decent sized straightaway, and then just really tight, small little corners with very little banking. So certainly a different animal here is Martinsville, but all to the liking of Gautier. He's been out there for much of this race. He's out there in front right now and trying to run this thing down. We still got 46 laps to go here in this race. So plenty of racing is still to go. Plenty of things can certainly shake out. We'll see if these guys need to make another pit stop. It's certainly been quite a while since these guys have been into pit road. The last time they came in was on lap, looks like 86 for Critchley, 65 for Gautier. So going 105 laps on those tires for Gautier is certainly going to be quite a feat, and maybe that's why you see right now Critchley starting to run him down. That's maybe why Critchley got around Casey. Casey also put on lap 65. So those 21 lap newer tires for Curtis Critchley starting to do some damage on the top half of this field now, as the lead was at one point almost out to 4 seconds, now down under 3.5.
Yeah, the question is, does Curtis Critchley have enough fuel and tire to go to the end of the race? And better question is, those guys that pitted on, if he does Steve Gautier or Carter Casey have enough fuel and tire for the rest of their race?
Well, and I think, if as a broadcaster for sure, but I'm sure the viewers as well are probably hoping that none of them have a chance to make it all the way on fuel. You want to see everybody have to come in, but what it's going to do is those 21 lap newer tires for Curtis Critchley and 21 more laps of fuel will help him certainly go further into this race, and possibly set up a two-tire strategy for him, where somebody like Gautier may have to take 4 tires because those things are just absolutely beat up. So hopefully we get to see some good strategies and differing strategies here at the end. But either way, Critchley is on the hunt. He's got it down to under 3.25 seconds, if I can finally get it out of my mouth. But you see the lap times down there, and that's going to go all the way down to 0 now. We've got another yellow. It looks like it involved the 15, I believe. We'll have to take a look back.
We'll go back here and look. No, that's the wrong one, as that happened earlier. We'll go back here to the... I'm getting Brandon Coleman.
Yep, that is the 15/0 car. So yeah, it looks like he just gets into the corner just a little too hot, slides up and tags the wall, and then spins around as well. I believe he was the only car involved, so another good job. These guys being in, I guess, the right spot at the right time and not getting caught up in the mix here. But there is the story right there. Both the leaders, all the leaders, pretty much everybody except Justin Lawson coming down pit road. And I gotta say, I mean, these guys made it at the very least 60 laps on these tires, so, and fuel. So these guys should be good to the end, and possibly even Lawson.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. I believe Lawson staying out there, and these guys coming back out here with fresh tires is going to hurt him. And these guys are gonna just run him over. And with, looks like Sean Langton and looks like even Chuck Kiger got back out on the lead lap. So there's going to be a lot going on here. There's 12 guys that are going to be on the lead lap, and if Justin decides to stay out along with Chuck, it might just be one of those things where they're going to end up in the back. So good on those guys getting their laps back as the pace car comes around. It looks like Lawson's going to come bring that thing, or not Lawson. Yes, Lawson's going to come down here and get some fresh tires, gas. No, Lawson's gonna stay out. The other guy. Sorry, you guys confused me. Langton, Sean Langton. He's finally coming here for some tires and gas. So good on Chuck. Chuck Kiger was the one that was able to get back up on the lead lap. Fuel window on these, I'm not quite sure they're Seeger, but I know they have enough to finish. So this should have been their last pit stop, as we have 35 more laps remaining. The pit strategies are now out of the window. This is all about driving and staying clean, and then choosing whether to stay out if something happens. So it looks like the caution lights are out on the pace car, as we have Justin Lawson up front with Steve Gautier in second, Curtis Critchley in third, Carter Casey in fourth, Derek Fulton in fifth. So Justin Lawson will bring them down the start-finish line here as they come out of 4. Oh, and it looks like we are under yellow again. Sean Langton is able to get back on the lead lap here. Not quite sure what's going on here. The pace car is back out, as these guys will straighten out the field again and hopefully be able to go green to the end here. But Justin Lawson finds himself out front with Steve Gautier that he outside. Pace car is back in. Justin Lawson getting ready to go back green here.
So it looks like just a bit of a mix-up in the order here. So just making sure everybody is in the correct position here. And then we'll get back going. For some reason, the 7 should have been the lucky dog there and did not get the wave around. It was given to the 22, so need to get that one straightened out. But that will put the 7 of Langton back on the lead lap. And Stephanie, to your liking, at the 22 of Chuck Kiger back on the lead lap. So now let's see what kind of damage he can do and moving up through this field, as we now once again have 12 drivers on the lead lap. Everybody back in line now. Everybody getting ready. We're going green this time by Lawson, Gautier on the front row.
You see Justin Lawson's on them older tires. Can he hold it?
Green flag in the air. Lawson into the corner. Certainly got older tires compared to Gautier on the outside, and they're going to split him 3 wide. Critchley to the inside. He knows he's got to get Gautier when he can. They're going to dive it down in the corner, and great job by everybody there getting through that corner. And it looks like the 20 of Lawson starting to get eaten up here. Now he is on the outside, but the battle for the lead side by side. Critchley on the inside of Gautier. He knows he's got to make the pass happen here. He's got to get it done. As we look back and just watch the 20 sliding back further and further, and certainly got himself some bonus points for leading a lap, but not gonna help in the long run here, as Critchley just runs the fastest lap of the race, gets clear of the 360 of Gautier. Now we get to see both of these guys on fresh tires, let alone the fact that the 360 is now the chaser. Can he get back past? And talked about him earlier. Watch that 94. He is up there now into third. Certainly got a fast machine out there tonight. Can he do anything with these front 2 guys who seem to be out there the entire night here so far, as he looks to the inside, but the 360 shuts the door.
Yeah, 29 laps remaining here at Martinsville, as Critchley is out front. Steve Gautier in third. Derek Fulton in third. Carter Casey in fourth. Paul Durkee in 5th, Al Reed in 6th, Dylan McDonald in 7th, Nicholas Uricchio in 8th, Justin Lawson in 9th, Sean Langton in 10th, Chuck Kiger in 11th, and Mike McMillan rounding out your guys on the lead lap in 12th. Then we have Brandon Coleman as the 94 of Fulton goes turned around, single car on the front stretch, as he gets that car going again as a caution comes out. So Justin Lawson slides from 1st to 8th in those few laps that we want green. Will he go back in for the pits? That is the question.
And I guess I owe him my apology, as maybe a bit of a broadcaster's curse there. Unfortunately, sees the 94 go around, worked his way all the way from the back to the front, all the way up to third, and now he's going to have to do it again. Back there in 12th right now. You see the 20 certainly liking that caution right there. He knows he was not in the prime position there. Going to take some tires now. And we will see how it shakes out, but we are down now under 30 laps to go. So we are certainly in go time right now for these drivers.
Yeah, this here was going to go ahead and put Brandon Coleman back on the lead lap. So now 13 cars on the lead lap as we're trying to finish up the evening here at Martinsville. We are on lap 144 of 170. These guys are doing a great job. We've had some green flag runs. We've had some cautions. We've had some iRacing hiccups. We've had my co-host or partner on crime here on CRN get kicked off the service. But
we had a rain delay. We had a rain delay, damn it.
we are still good to go. And if anybody had an admin box tonight, would have been the night to use it. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to need about 3 here. Just wanted at every angle. But again, you know, as it comes down here, we got now 13 drivers on the lead lap out of 15, so that's great to see there. Shane Calhoun, the only one completely out of the race. Mike Durfee there, 4 laps down. But 13 guys still with a chance at this win. Some of the top guys back out in the front here with Critchley and Gautier going to be lined up on the front row. Casey and Durkee, they're in 3rd and 4th with McDonald, Eurechio in 6th and 7th. So we'll see who gets the restart here, as all of these guys now pretty much on the same tire strategy with the exception of Lawson and Fulton now having the freshest tires by 12 or 13 laps respectively. Now it's just going to be a case of who is ready to use that chrome bumper in the front of the car and bump and move those guys that they want to get past. Will they be able to get to the back bumper of those guys that they want to get past? Will Gautier be able to make that outside work? We've seen Critchley like the outside on a lot of tracks, and even here tonight he's done pretty well on the outside, but you got to think he's going to be taking the inside here, and he wants to try and get out ahead of Gautier as quick as possible, but it's going to be really hard holding that 360 machine behind.
It's almost like, you know, this start here, if you kind of hold these guys up just a little bit and Carter Casey can get that bumper underneath Gautier, it could put another car in between him and Gautier, as Gautier seems to be one of the fastest cars on the track tonight. A lot of decisions on how to start this race, whether to go side by side and hopefully be able to make the corner and the guy behind you gets a bumper underneath as well, or is he going to make the jump start as Curtis Critchley decides to take the jump start and Gautier goes right down to the bottom behind Critchley.
Yeah, that was a possibly a race-saving move. Still plenty of time left, but Gautier needed to get down to that bottom. He knows that Casey has a fast machine back there. He could not let him stay to the inside of him, as we got a good battle back here for 4th place, as the 6 of Durkee trying to get around and finish off the 38 of McDonald. Still side by side, and that's going to allow Al Reed to kind of poke his nose in there, but the 6 is going to clear. That's going to allow the 38 to move in line. Reed gets in the wall just a little bit off the corner, but everybody now back in line, and now the question is, how long will they stay friendly to each other before they start trying to move each other? You see the 7 back up there into 7th place. Takes a look a little bit briefly under the 3 of Reed. Going to fall back in line. Eurechio right behind him as well.
Yeah, some of these guys, you know, going laps down, coming back, you know, with the amount of caution. So, you know, the whole motto: don't give up and keep on going. You'll never know where you can finish. Find Sean Langton in 7th place currently. So Al Reed has a good run tonight there in the Irish number 3 machine there in 6th place.
Gonna try and make a move on Eurechio. Eurechio trying to block that bottom, but Fulton gonna make the move underneath, gonna force his way in there. A great job of just committing to the line and getting under there. He's gonna make the pass. Again, he's got some of the fresher tires here, so we'll see how easily he can make his way through the field. Already trying to work on Langton. Looks like Lincoln's going to make him move on the outside. We'll see if Fulton can get it done with those 12-lap fresher tires. Certainly get a good run out there. He's going to get alongside. And Fulton, once again, I'm not going to talk about him too much. I don't want to jinx it again, but trying to make his way from the back to the front one more time.
I mean, he's done it a few times already tonight, and he's, doing it again. He's a little sideways. He's like, oh, he saves the car. So Tyre's getting a little bit angry as he falls back a few positions, but back going, keeping this thing green as we have 16 laps remaining.
Jimmy, that one's on you. I stopped talking about him. You kept talking about him. That's when he got loose. So I am blaming that one on you. I'm giving you the broadcaster EOL on that one. But he does save them back in line and now trying to work once again. But out front, it is Curtis Critchley still holding off that 360 of Gautier. The points leader trying to get his second win of the season and over what's arguably the dominating car here tonight, and Gautier trying to get his third win of the season, right behind Carter Casey looking for his third win as well. So your winners are up at the front, and we've got another caution here. Looks like it involved the 36, I believe, of Eurykio. We'll take a look back.
Looks like he just drove into the 7 just a little bit, spinning himself around. 7 able to maintain, looks like. Maybe.
Yeah, it looked like the 38 or the 36 of Eurykio just dunking that Dunkaroos machine just a little bit too hard into the corner there, gets himself sideways, brings out a caution, and just a little scrape there on the 22 of Kiger when he gets back going. But other than that, pretty clean for all these guys once again. But that's going to set us up with a late restart here, as we are going to be, I believe, under 10 laps to go when this thing restarts.
It's coming down to another great finish here, as it looks like Mark Durfee will get one of his 3 laps back here, only putting him 2 laps down. But right now it's Curtis Critchley out front with Steve Gautier in second, Carter Casey in third, and Paul Durkee in fourth. Al Reed is in fifth. Sean Langton has made his way up to sixth, and Justin Lawson in seventh, Derek Fulton in eighth, and Chuck Kiger in ninth, and Brandon Coleman up to 10th.
So these guys should be getting the 2 to go this time by, which would get them at lap 159, and then the 1 to go. So they should be getting the green flag lap with 10 laps to go. Once again, Gautier going to have to get it done on the outside if he wants to try and make this pass on the restart, or he's going to have to do the same thing. He's going to have to do the same thing and try and cut in line as quick as possible to get in front of Casey.
Yeah, these guys only have 11 laps right now. They will have 10 laps remaining when they go green. But if you're just joining in here, the end of this race here at Martinsville, we are with the group of ECRC, sponsored by Titletown Sim Racing and Media, along with Admin Box and Butt Kicker. So, welcome aboard. And also, if you've been here the whole time and have not, please hit the thumbs up and give us a like. Maybe share and subscribe so we can continue to give you great coverage here on CRN with ECRC ECRC and some of the other leagues that we broadcast throughout iRacing.
And you see, it's never too late to get a little practice in. Looks like Steve Gautier getting a little practice of getting that front bumper into the back of the 27 of Curtis Critchley. So maybe a little preview of what we may see here in the last 10 laps here. But we've got 159 and a half down right now. We'll let these guys cross the line first, but gonna be 10 to go here at the line. Critchley, your control car, still 13 guys out there on the lead lap, 14 guys still out there driving. Critchley on the loud pedal. He's going to get back going. A little bit of a wheel spin from both the front guys. Gautier going to fight a little bit on the outside, but he sees the opportunity to get to the inside. Just gets down in front of Carter Casey. Casey going to get around the 6 of Durkee. They're 3 wide back in the pack with Bolton in the middle, and that's going to bring out another caution.
They were able to continue to get those cars straight, but it will bring out a caution as those guys got together and in traffic. But you can feel the tension, Carl. Everybody wants to get up to the front, and small mistakes, making these cars go 3 wide on a short track. Ugh, just sends shivers down my spine.
We'll take a look at that incident one more time, but it was a situation right there where it's been go time for about 20 laps now, and finally see it here.
Oh man, might have to go back just a little bit more here. Oh, need to go about Bolton. We'll go ahead and rewind that. We'll take another look, another angle at this thing here as these guys went 3 wide here, and maybe we'll just go ahead and we'll take this to a far chase mode, and you can see these guys how close they are as the 20 of Lawson is to the inside. Bolton trying to maintain just ever so slightly, and the 7 kind of coming down in front of the 94. Doesn't quite have the room, bouncing the 94 down to the 20. The 94 kind of driving through the 7. Not what you want to see, but turns them straight, gets their wheels going in the right direction as the field goes by. Dylan McDonald, Brandon Coleman, and the 36 of Eurykio going by as these guys were able to collect themselves as the caution came out here late in this race.
Yeah, it's not going to quite be a green-white checker, but certainly getting close to that as we are going to complete lap 164 this time by, so 6 laps still remaining. And now we see the 7 of Langton coming in the pits, getting some late tires here, so maybe trying to make a late charge. We've seen that 94 making that outside line work, and we're under caution, so we're safe to talk about him, right, Jimmy?
We are definitely safe to talk about them, but anything is possible. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that 7 is certainly working his way back up there. Not the 7. He's in 7th. The 94
Derek,
working his way back up through the field.
We're just making you stronger, all right? You got lots of TV time tonight. Let's get this monkey off your back, buddy. Let's get up to the front.
Yeah, Derek, if for some reason you can hear us, if you got the broadcast going, we appreciate you having the broadcast going, but earmuffs right now as we talk to you and work your way back up through the field. But out front, once again, another restart here. The lights are out on the pace car. We're getting ready for another restart here. 5 to go. It's going to be 4 to go at the line here at Martinsville. Get your popcorn ready. Get your drinks ready. Somebody's going to get some champagne at the end of this one. Somebody's going to get a, I don't know, is it a grandfather clock if these cars are already grandfather cars? I'm not sure what they're going to give out here for the trophy, and especially by Titletown Sim Racing and Media, but we are getting ready to go here. Can Critchley get another good restart here? Will they spin the wheels like they did last time? Coming out of turn 4, Critchley, a great restart, and so does Casey, as he drops to the inside, going to try and stay to the inside of Gautier. He has the line. Can he get by the 360 and challenge for the win? We got another wreck back in the back. Looks like that involved Kiger and Coleman. We'll take a look.
And just the 0 car getting in the Chuck just ever so slightly. It almost looks like the 38 was in the back of the 94 Fulton as Chuck locks it up just there. They were able to keep it to the high side. So not too much damage on Chuck's machine, but Coleman brings it to a stop, lets the field go by, and continues to have this race go as we will now be in our first green white flag checker.
Checkered, yep.
Yeah, as they come here to finish this race here soon. But we have definitely plenty of time to finish this race under even the green-white checker, as this race has been a little bit longer than usual, as we've had plenty of cautions and excitement here tonight. And if you were at the track, you'd want to see cautions, just like we like to see them here, because there's something to talk about and how these guys continue to drive and work through the field as problems arise as they would on a real track here in this sim.
So I guess no time better than now, but let's go ahead and bring in our in-race reporter here for what should be the last caution of the race. We've seen you up as high as second. We've seen you down as low as just outside the top 10. Now you're kind of right smack dab in the middle of the field in 8th place, restarting on the outside. What can you do with that 38 car to the end of this race?
Try to keep it clean. I mean, I've seen all adversity during this whole race, and it's just. I know I don't have a winning car. I probably don't even have a top 3 or even a top 5 car. Being an 8th, I'm fine here, and I was just my arms were hurting from trying to turn the wheel as much as I have to. My throttle's sticking going into the corners, so if you see me go up towards the wall, that's what's going on. I'm just ready to move on to next week at Talladega.
You might want to invest in a little bit of WD-40 on the accelerator button and not get in the rear of our buddy Derek Fulton, as he's had his well-round of issues tonight, as he's gone from the front to the back, to the front, and the sideways to the inside to the outside. The guy's been everywhere. I mean, so Fulton to find himself up there in 7th place, just right in front of you. I'm sure he just wants to finish.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody wants to finish. I've been sitting here talking to Nick Uricchio, trying to help him out through this whole race. Same as last week, and just here to try to help anybody out that needs help. Since I do have a lot of time and experience in these cars, I know what I can do and can't do, and all I'm just trying to do is just share my experience with everybody else.
Well, the pace car lights are off here, Carl, and we should send Dylan back to the seat so he can finish this race up. So the pace car is in, and as we are about to go green, and Curtis Critchley will bring them down to the start. Can these guys get around here 2 times and make this green-white checker flag this time around? And Curtis gets a good start, and Carter Casey gets a good start, gets underneath Steve Gautier as we go around here for the final laps. Curtis Critchley out there, a nice lead.
Once again, Casey trying to make it work and get on the inside there. Some shuffling back in the field. You see the 38, our in-race reporter trying to get it done there, trying to push Fulton up through the field. Al Reed doing some good work, making his way through the field. We are on the white flag. Next flag will end this thing. Bumping and banging all over the place back in the field. It is Critchley out in front, and nobody's going to catch him into 3 and 4. Casey gonna get past Gautier in turns 3 and 4. The 38 into the wall. The 6 off the wall. All kinds of mayhem coming to the finish line there, but it's gonna be Critchley picking up win number 2. Casey in 2nd. Gautier in 3rd. Lawson and Reed will be your top 5.
And they're just trying to catch these last little incidents that happened, as you see. The 7 just going around. Dylan McDonald kind of going up to the wall there at the end. Al Reed doing a great job staying out there in front. Fulton trying to get in the gas a little bit too early. Catches it sideways again. Maybe he can finish it backwards. Does a 360, maybe a little showboating as some of the field goes by. And Fulton just not having the race tonight. But it looks like the end of the race here, Carl. I'll go ahead and pull up the final results here. As Curtis Critchley takes 1st, Carter Casey in 2nd, Steve Gautier in 3rd, Justin Lawson in 4th, Al Reed in 5th, Sean Langton finishes in 6th, Nicholas Uricchio in 7th, Paul Durkee in 8th, Mike McMillan in 9th, Chuck Kiger rounding out your top 10, Dylan McDonald falling back to 11th, Derek Fulton. What a rough time for that guy tonight as he finishes 12th. 13 is Mike Durfee. 14th, Brandon Coleman. 15, Shane Calhoun. And ignore that Jimmy Cover guy because he didn't even get on the track.
Not turning a single lap here tonight. It's just scared money don't make money. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But a great job by these guys out here to finish off this race. And you've seen everybody trying to get absolutely everything on that last lap in those last couple corners and even last straightaway. And some just grabbing a little bit too much gas in the meantime and hooking themselves. But we will start to bring in our top 3 here in just a moment as once again, Curtis Critchley trying to extend his points lead and does it in fine fashion. And you really got to give it to him. Got to give it to Casey for making it happen there on the inside, getting ahead of Gautier. But we will start with Jimmy. Why don't you go ahead and take our 3rd place finisher, Steve Gautier.
Hey, Steve. Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Yes, I got you.
Hey, Steve. You were the guy to beat tonight. You were out front for the majority of the race. Led a lot of this race with the adversity of all the cautions and stuff going on around you. But right there towards the end, Curtis just got a really good jump, and Carter was able to get his nose underneath you, putting you back in the third place. But again, great finish. It's from what I've seen up here in the booth, but maybe you want to go ahead and kind of walk us through your race tonight.
Yeah, it was. I think my last pit strategy was not the one to do. I was expecting, since there was a lot of caution, to see more people going for the 2 tires on the right. So my last pit stop was only 2 tires, and that's probably where I was losing some grip to really make the pass on Curtis. And Carter had me on the last green wire checker, so that was probably it. Maybe I should have made a 4 tire pit stop, and I think would have been all the way for me for the win.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, you live and learn, from the slight mistakes. But I mean, overall, you did a great job tonight, pulling off the P3 and leading most of this race. So you got to be a little bit happy with that. Again, a good showing for the 360 car. I'll give you a little bit of time to give any shout outs out there tonight.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for this broadcast. It's really good. And I want to thank my supporter and family, all my friends watching me over my season. And thank you guys. Thank you for my main sponsor, 360 Nitro.tv, and my team, Lavoie Motorsport. Thank you guys.
You're very welcome. Again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your crew.
Thank you.
All right, at your third place finisher, the 360 of Steve Gauthier. Now we bring in our second place finisher, and that is the 83 of Carter Casey. And Carter, I gotta say it's Martinsville is one of those tracks where you just gotta figure out how to get to the end and get yourself in position. You did that. You got all the way up to third there at the end. Had a couple of late restarts. The first one seemed like, just the 360 and 27 got too good of a jump. You couldn't get to the inside of Steve, but you finally got it done there and got to the inside on that last restart. Do you think you eventually had anything for the 27?
I think I would have had anything if I had track position, but if I had to chase him down, it would have had to have taken a use of the bumper to really do much. It's very tough to pass here, especially with how equal Steve and Kurt were to each other, and I was sort of within the ballpark if things played right, but just a good opportunity to maximize the potential tonight, and things kind of worked out, so it was fun to have things work out for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a key word that I want to talk to you about, and that is passing, and certainly not easy passing here. But you have to have the most passes in the league this year. It seems like week in and week out, you find something that happens to you that gets you down a lap or gets you deep in the field, but you find a way to work your way back in the hunt and find yourself in the hunt just about every week here at the end of the races. And kind of the same thing here. I mean, you found yourself a lap down at one point. You had to fight your way back and get back in the mix. But do you think that's what's kind of holding you back from grabbing that third win?
Yeah, potentially. I don't know about tonight so much, though. I think had everything gone perfectly, I was still probably second, third best. But who knows? I mean, a little bit of luck. Who knows how it goes? I actually was gonna come down to the pits when that one caution came out on I think lap 130. I was already dropping low to come to the pits, and caution came out right before I got on the pit road. So luck played out in my favor that time, and other times it doesn't. So it's just racing. Sometimes luck is with you, sometimes it's not. But even with good luck tonight, I don't think I would have really been any better than where I finished.
Well, either way, a good finish here. It's a good points. They should move you up to second in the point standings. So now at about the halfway point, what's it going to take to run down Critchley and try and take this points lead from him?
It's going to be close, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm excited. It's always good racing with these guys. So I just know that whatever happens, it's going to be really good, hard racing, and it's going to be fun to watch too. I know that much.
All right. Well, once again, congrats on second place. We'll give you a chance to send any shout outs or any thanks before we let you go.
Yeah, thanks to East Coast Racing Circuit, Refined Motorsports, and thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast.
We thank you for putting on a good show out there. Another good finish here for the 83 tonight. Congrats on second. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
That your second place finisher, the 27, or I'm sorry, the 83 of Carter Casey. Now your winner for actually the third time this season. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it is the second time this season, just updated already. But that is going to be the 27 of Curtis Critchley.
Hello, hello.
Jimmy, did I lose you over there?
Yep, nope, I'm here. I'm here.
There he is.
I'm doing some side stuff, but hey, Curtis is
I thought we had another rain delay.
No, it's Jimmy Carl in the booth. We got you loud and clear. Again, congratulations on the first place. Steve was the car to beat tonight, and you just happened to be there at the right spot at the right time, and you kept him behind you there for those late cautions and to pull away the win. So how was your whole race? Give us a little bit of rundown for the fans out there.
It was just kind of trying to search around and see how to really save tire is what I was trying to do most of the race, just because it's Martinsville is always a wild ride in any race. So basically it's just trying to survive and kind of be near the front and make the right pit stop at the right time. Just because the end always there's a bunch of yellows and you just got to pick the right one to go into that where you can kind of cycle near the front. But yeah, Steve was really fast tonight. Like, I don't think if there was pitch strategy involved, anybody was getting him tonight. He was really quick. I had to take my shot at him when I saw the chance because when he was starting outside the row, I had to basically try to find a way to get by Lawson and Steve there at one time. And we managed to make it work there just to kind of get Steve pinned on the outside there and hopefully snooped by and was able to hold on to her since. And then kind of a couple good restarts there because I imagine Steve would have tried to get to me and give me a little bump and run there as he should.
Right.
But luckily we avoided that tonight.
Yeah, there was a time there, I think, when you guys started after one of the cautions, you both spun your tires just a little bit and it allowed you to kind of check up the field just a little bit, but you still had a little bit of a jump on them since you were the lead car, the starting car, and you were able to keep them on the outside. And then you guys had a caution a few times, and I was still talking to Carl on the broadcast. I was like, I would probably kind of maybe hold him up and get him guessing as much as possible, and then have Carter Casey get on the inside of him and put at least another car in between yourself and Steve to keep him back there as he was the dominant car tonight. But you did a great job tonight. You're leading the points right now. Your second win of the season. But you have these guys chasing you down. How do you feel about next week?
Daya, I really like Daya. Daya's always a fun race to go to, and I feel like I do mostly a good job as you can to make good decisions and try to stay out of things, but it's always just a random draw almost. You just gotta make sure you're kind of in the right places at the right time and just basically boost your probability up and just try to stay safe, really.
And is your teammate going to show up for next week? As you seemed he was not there for you tonight to kind of help you out, but Dago would be one of those areas that would definitely pay out to have your teammate with you.
Yeah, no, we missed Kieran tonight. I'm pretty sure he's still stuck at work. Busy guy he is, but he's we sure miss him at Refined tonight because we would love to see him race tonight. He's really good at Martinsville too, so he would have had a great night tonight.
Yeah, it looks like you guys need to up his salary there at Refined, so he shows up for the races instead of work. I think that's all it's going to take.
Yeah, right. I just got to start matching his wages.
Well, again, congratulations on finishing P1 tonight, and I'll give you a little bit of time to give a shout out. I know you talked about Refined and whatnot, but again, congratulations. Give you time to do your shout out and anything else you would like to say.
Yeah, pavement marking, Octo Wraps for the paints, and also Refined and Nexus Esport, and also Mom, Dad at home watching. Thank you very much.
And there you go, folks. Our winner of tonight at Martinsville, 170 laps. Curtis Critchley coming away with the win.
Yeah, a little bit of overtime involved there too. So I think we end up going 174 laps there, Jimmy. But the short tracks are now at least temporarily behind us. We got a big one next week at Talladega. Only 5 races left in the schedule here. So you got Talladega, then you go back to a little bit of a short track with Nashville Fairgrounds, the mile at Dover, and then the finish at Hickory. Hickory is certainly going to put on a heck of a show to end it. You know, everybody's going to be trying to bump and scrape and scrap for every bit that they can get there. But 5 to go right now. Critchley sitting on top of the points with his second win here tonight. He seems to be the man to beat at the right time of the race. May not be the one that dominates the race, but doesn't matter. As long as you're leading that last lap, that's all that really matters. So good job here by the 27 and by a lot of these guys here tonight. We've got to see the big one at Martinsville. Never thought I'd say that in our broadcasting career, but certainly had the big one there. And then, Carter Casey doing another good job going from the back to the front. Steve Gautier showing his dominance as well, finishing again in the top 3. But a little bit over 170 laps here at Martinsville, and I'm glad I'm up here in the booth. I know you are as well. I'm happy everybody tuned in tonight. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that subscribe and that share. Everything helps us out. Doesn't cost you a dime, but it certainly helps us out, and it gives you a chance to see everything that CRN has to broadcast. Tomorrow night, join us back here in CRN for the 87s again with the Core Vintage Series. But that's going to do it for myself and Jimmy at the Paperclip. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.